on the way home. So,
hi there, everybody. This is Tyler, and I am here with a group from the Gauntlet, which, if you watch my stuff, I play with the Gauntlet a lot. They're amazing. They're awesome. You should also be a Gauntleteer. And you can find us at gauntlet-rpg.com. We're on Facebook. We're on Twitter. It is well worth your time if you enjoy gaming with wonderful people. And we're playing Space Worm versus Moonicorn by Johnstone Metzger. And I'm a big fan of this game. It does something I really like, which is kind of a quick start. It has its big, huge campaign-y bit. They have a kind of a quick start that lets you get a feel for the players and can kind of try and have something encapsulated in a few short sessions. We're doing that. We're doing 4 sessions. And I want to say before we start that we have the Gauntlet inclusivity policy, which means at its base that we're here as friends to support each other. We're here to take care of each other, have a good time. We're friends at a table. And so that, that sort of permeates our whole culture, is that we're here to make sure everyone's having the best time and that we're supporting and being generous with each other. We also have the X card, which, if you don't know, if something becomes problematic, a little too personal, something's just destroying your fun, do something like this. You can do something like this. You can put something up in chat, or you can say, hey, Tyler, I think I want to X that. There is no problem with it whatsoever, other than I don't always look towards that chat as quickly as I should. So you might want to hit me a little something visible. But there's no problem with that whatsoever. I may ask for clarification just to know what to try and fix, but we'll pull back and we'll start off again and reframe that. Our tools here to make sure we have the best time possible. Please feel free to use them. You may notice I'm a little stuffy. So for everybody here, sorry about that. I will try my best to not be too terribly snotty right here on the camera all the time. That means everybody else will do a lot of talking. Yay! So first off, I'm going to give a real quick recap of where we've been. We started off with our Space Worm, who is Prince Director Curzon, on his place of power, their place of power, which is a planet that produces our spice. And our spice are gems that can communicate across interstellar distances. It's opened up where, every planet's connected. And this is the one place it's made. And this is also one of our Space Worm's fronts of power. It's complete control over it. It's on an alien planet, which is another of Space Worm's points of power. The alien races look towards the Prince Director as their leader. Now, inside of the interior kind of part of the galaxy, which is the human empire, we have the Imperial Throne, which really isn't exactly an empire anymore, since the Imperial Throne itself is empty, and instead it's run by a council of people. And they're kind of inefficient. They don't have much military, but they do have this currency that is ubiquitous to the world that they can just tax right off the top. So they make all their money by the fact that money just spreads around and they pull from the top of it. They kind of treat the alien worlds a little second classy, and that's made the alien worlds want to kind of separate. And our Prince Director Space Worm is kind of using that to their advantage. We also have the religion of the world, which in similar fashion, or the galaxy, in similar fashion to the Imperial Throne, has a council, because all religions, all the different religions, are just fine as long as they go to the council and get approved. And if you don't, then the council sends their church troops off and they squash these, these kind of heretical religions. They marginalize them to the point where they disappear. And so we have the temporal council of the Imperial Throne and the spiritual council of our religious set. And then our final bit of our fronts is interstellar travel. where we have a set of guilds that keep up with the engines that are required to go through hyperspace. And those are our three fronts that are kind of up in the air, that are open. And when we started, we saw the Prince Director was beginning to put into plans, into works to, excuse me, to separate the alien worlds away from the Empire and go kind of pushing on the Imperial throne. And that's when word came in that the Imperial throne had outlawed SpaceWorm's control of the gems, had put in a huge tax, and SpaceWorm was not delighted. But at the same time, we had our other show up. And when we do our introductions, I'll leave a little bit of room for that to be told about. But we saw them meet. And we also had our Thief of Space and Time, who we ended last time with her getting lost out into the ether in a jump through space and time, as it were. We also have our Moonicorn, who is out promoting freedom and goodness across the galaxy, and who had arrived at a planet to find out that the religion of that planet had a big ceremony, and we're so excited to have Moonicorn there. But come to find out, had some pretty nefarious plans for Moonicorn, and may have been trying to suck their power into a stone. But that stone was taken. And since then, Moonicorn's been kind of on the run. And so we had ended with a face-to-face meeting between Moonicorn and SpaceWorm on an alien world. We had left with our other, which is Spiral, having been placed into a space Thief of Space and Time's bag, and then jumped through space and time. Only they had separated, and Spiral had gone flying out of the hyperspace tunnel, and we don't know where the Thief of Space and Time has gone. So I'm going to have everyone introduce their characters, and then we're going to come to Mikhail and let him get his put out there. And so I'm going to start with you, Yoshi, if you don't mind.
Cool. I am playing Moonicorn, Cora. My full name is Cora Zan, and Cora uses they, them pronouns. They are sort of like an androgynous like body shape in general. They're trying partly to hide and not be recognized because they are the heir apparent for the Imperial, like the whole Empire. And they've sort of run away from that. And so they want to be as hidden as possible. So like the dress and clothing is like sort of very basic, very functional, nondescript, trying to blend in. But I have some problems with that. Like I have this long, like dark blue-black hair that like glows when backlit. I've got like a little rainbow horn on the top of my head. And so like, since these are really defining characteristics that people could recognize me, I tried to like tuck it all into like a brownish, like nondescript beanie on the top of my head. So nobody can really recognize me as well, trying to hide that as much. Yeah, and I am cousins with Prince Director Curzon, and so we have some similar ideas about what should happen, like what the outcome should be, maybe, but not exactly about how it should be implemented. I am a little bit more anarchic around like. Anarchy is a little bit better, smaller, independent things. People should have their own control and their freedom rather than having some big directorial thing tell us what is best for us. Yeah, and that's Moonicorn.
Ooh, thank you very much. Patrick, would you like to introduce your character?
Sure. So I'm playing the other playbook, Spiral, who is a weird inky shadow monster from hyperspace. He comes from another dimension and found his way into this dimension through a sort of accident slash confluence of events But the really driving point is he was called across by Moonicorn's voice, by their message of, you know, freedom and peacefulness and rainbows and shit. And also because we've gotten a lot of hints that Moonicorn has some connection to the hyperspace world in some way, or is just a bridge between them, or something. Who knows? Spiral showed up. He ran around with Frantic for a while, had a couple of very running down hallways, Doctor Who style adventures. He got to be the villain a couple of times. It was nice. It was fun. Everybody had a good time. There was lots of running. Also, in all of that, when he materialized in this galaxy, Space Worm ended up sort of by accident with a crystal that's a part of him, sort of his heart, and as long as Space Worm has it, he can give orders. They can give orders to Spiral. And so we've seen some of that where Spiral was sent off to attack some spaceways on some recalcitrant merchants and whatnot. But Frantic showed up, the thief of space and time, managed to steal Spiral. As previously mentioned, throw him in a bag, go into a wormhole, and then accidentally lose him. So who knows at this point? Other thing is, I think Spiral ended up with the giant crystal that's some sort of manifestation of Moonicorn's power, or of some connection to the other world, or something sort of vague and crystal shaped we haven't figured out yet.
Thank you very much. Gerwin, would you like to introduce your character, please?
Certainly. I'm playing the Space Worm in this instance. I'm playing Prince Director Curzon. Visually, Curzon is what Grand Admiral Thrawn would look like if he was green instead of blue. So I'm playing him very much in the same way. I'm not the cackling evil genius that twirls the moustache and monologues. Well, I may monologue, but I don't necessarily monologue to people while they're in the trap. I'm very much the manipulator, and you.
Oh dear!
Hello.
You froze there a minute there, Gerwin.
Yeah.
Could you go back?
Yeah, certainly. I think I've got something running in the background. Let me just double check and get that shut down.
All righty. We had heard you're very much the manipulator as the last thing you said.
Okay. He's very much the manipulator rather than the person in hordes of fanatic commandos into the fray. But he considers himself the hero of the story. He is not doing this to drive his own ambition. He is doing this to make a better world. Ultimately, the things as they are now, they can't continue. Things have to change. Things could descend into anarchy, and there would be generations and generations of bloodshed. It's better to end this way for a more orderly progression into the future. So yes, yeah, that's basically Prince Curzon.
And I believe you had implemented a plan by meeting with Moonicorn to say that Cora was going to be put up onto the Imperial throne, kind of as a figurehead, and had sent that across the television.
Yes. Last session, there was the whole incident with the religion where a voice spoke out about what the prophecy that the religion was going to bring forward, embodied by this crystal, and that word was destruction. And then Moonicorn stole that and ran away with that crystal. And then things started to go badly wrong. Things started to be destroyed. In fact, a major spaceport that most of the trade for the core planets goes through was badly damaged, potentially destroyed.
Oh, Gerwin, we're having... You are.
Yeah. Okay. Basically, yeah, I was outed as being involved in that destruction, and I had Moonicorn and myself recorded, and I had it spread through the world, through the words, through the news, to every planet in the galaxy, that I was obeying the orders of Moonicorn in this instance. That I am merely just a servant, the one bringing the destruction, the one bringing the chaotic change, is Moonicorn.
Ah, me, my mercy.
And one last thing.
Mhm.
Moonicorn likes to hide. Moonicorn likes to slip into the background. That's become a little bit more difficult recently, because everyone has seen Moonicorn's face. In fact, there is a new currency in the galaxy, and each one of them bears Moonicorn's likeness. Yeah.
And so that's our current situation. Excuse me. The new currency is actually the spice. It's the gems of communication, and SpaceWorm has kind of cut off trade of those to the interior world, so they're becoming this precious new commodity, and the banking community has joined with SpaceWorm. So, Mikhail, let's hear a little bit about your character, if you'd like, and we'll set up some bonds now that you know a little bit about these folks.
Yeah, I'm playing Amakali Nika Muta. She's of the, I think it's some kind of like, if it's like a church or something. I imagine that being a little bit of like the Faceless Man in Game of Thrones, only like not with death, but with like love, like a god of love or something like that. And you hire people from there to comfort you, however that is. Because I think like it's they are like grown up there, and it's a very like ambiguous and secretive organization, so people don't really know much about them. But like there's a lot of people having a lot of ideas about what it is. But nonetheless, we're definitely the best at what we do. And Anakali, she is. Yeah, I imagine that she has. She hasn't really like the title of the order is called like literally pleasure marriage, but you're never with anyone for long, so that doesn't really make any sense. But it's just like this idea, and I think she has been with a lot of like been around a lot of like powerful people, and I'm not sure like. Usually, their powers, their power would decline afterwards of some reason. It's just a bad rumor she has.
Ooh, that's interesting. You have your 3 stats: love, peace, and war, and you set those up.
Yeah, I have 2 in love, -1 in peace, and 1 in war.
Excellent. And you see your moves down there. Those are all the moves that you will have to work with, plus your special move. Which special move did you take?
Yeah, my special move is Fascination Ends. Someone who is fascinated with you can only end their fascination if they also get in trouble for doing what you tell them, giving you what you want, or fighting to protect you.
Excellent. Ooh, I like that one. And during the course of play, if you see another of your special moves you'd like to bring in, everyone else, because we reached the middle of our arc, has gotten a second special move. So if you see at some point during course of play you want to bring in a second move, you may feel free to do that as well. So I'm going to ask you for your bonds, what do you love about SpaceWorm?
I think actually that I like that he is like predictable. As someone who's been around people with power a lot, I think SpaceWorm is someone that you can depend on to do a specific thing. At least that's how she sees it.
So when SpaceWorm says that they're doing something, that happens, sort of thing.
Yeah, or what you think that Space Worm will do, usually they will do.
Gotcha. Okay. And what do you love about Moonicorn? What's not to love about Moonicorn?
Yeah, I think I love their potential. Like they have a lot of good things that is not channeled in any way.
Ooh, I like that. I'm going to hop over and ask Space Worm, is our lover treasure or currency?
Oh, I think they're very much treasure.
Ooh, nice. And Moonicorn, what bond do you think you have with the lover?
I think I'm going to pick the who do you go to for help when you need it. And I think the lover, especially as their position and their profession, is somebody who is like provides support and like especially like emotional support type thing. So I think it's the I come to you for not so much like an answer for a question, but like to sit there while I maybe talk through the answer to myself as somebody who will listen, type thing.
Ooh, that's lovely.
Does that work for you?
Yeah, sure, cool.
Okay. And Mikhail, do you think that the lover has a bond with our other? Do you think you've encountered them before?
Yeah, maybe. I think I think maybe we had we are having a feud going.
Ooh.
Interesting.
Why do you think you're feuding?
Well, they're doing things you're not supposed to, and I think like Anakal is not afraid to say it out loud. In any
Cool. We've had some like stuff with people being in hyperspace and getting weird visions and possibly like prophecies of the future or messages from the other side or whatever sort of feeling. Do you think it's something that ties into your religious nature? Do you think this like I'm some sort of heresy or something?
Yeah, I think that is kind of it. Like it's speaking of it's false prophecies, giving people ideas about things that doesn't really exist.
Neat.
Which is other way around. That is how it really is probably, but we know that.
Cool. Patrick, do you think that that Spiral has a bond to give to the lover?
Yeah, I hadn't used this one earlier, but how about let's see. Anarkali was the first person I met here in this galaxy, which I wouldn't have made a great impression because where I was born was where I came through into this galaxy was in the center of a solar system of a race that had just tried to invent a new hyperspace technology and had instead extinguished their sun and wiped themselves out. And then there was Spiral floating in the middle of their solar system. So I can see bad impressions.
Yeah. If I could maybe like twist that a little bit.
Yeah, go for it.
I kind of like the idea that she didn't know about those rules then, because that never really happened that way before. So I think she was actually that's the main thing that makes her like really talk so much out about and has made her feud is that she feels ashamed of treating you so well then.
So like you found out all of that and found out what I was after we'd had a good impression, a good meeting.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it.
I like that too. That's neat.
Okay. Then I think I'm going to start with Anna. Let's see, Anna Colley. Anna Colley. I'm probably going to call you Anna more than I call you Anna Colley because I am terrible with names. But Anna Colley, where are you now? What do you think you're doing at the moment?
I mean, I'm probably somewhere where there are important people and things going on. I don't know where that would be.
We currently have a Council of the Alien Worlds meeting where they are discussing perhaps rebelling against the Imperial throne. That's a big thing going on. We have the Imperial throne back at the Central World coming up with, holy cow, what are we going to do about this rebellion and the money being screwed with? Do either of those appeal to you?
I mean, that council thing, that sounds neat.
I like that one as well. And it sort of brings us all together, too. So I think, Anna Colley, are you human or are you one of the alien races?
I think, yeah, I am human.
Okay.
Like of Arabic descent, probably. Something like that. I don't know how much that matters anymore, but I think, yeah, it looks a bit like that.
Okay. And is your religion one of the accepted by the religious council, or is your religion kind of a heretical religion?
I think it's an accepted religion insofar that what people know about it. But
okay.
I think I think there's always this controversy about the Nika, that they don't want to, they hide a lot of their practices.
Gotcha. That's excellent. Now, with our religion, since you're part of the council of it, we know that the religion has some inner secrets that they don't tell everyone. I think it sounds a little like that you're on that fringe of the council where they don't entirely trust you. So even you don't know those completely inner secrets of the whole religious council, but you do know, I'm going to start us off with, you do know that the whole council is interested in having Moonicorn either join them or gain control of Moonicorn. There's a whole idea that you've heard from the council that they're trying to get a hold of Moonicorn. So you're aware of that. But for now, you're here with this council, and there's been meetings going on, and these various species are coming together to say things. You know, they're upset with the Imperial throne, and Prince Director Corazon will take us from this sort of situation. We should join with them. They are going to bring us to a new galactic resurgence. No longer will we have to be controlled by the Central Empire. No, now we'll be free, sort of thing. They don't really know what Corazon has in store for them, I suppose. But that's what they're saying. And you've kind of slid away from this during a break, and you're now in your chambers. Describe to me a little what your chambers look like. They would have made them for whatever way you want them to look.
Yeah, I think it's a very like simple chamber, actually. Like it's the bed. There's like a I think it's like a mat that's directed towards like a balcony or something like that. Even if there's not really a balcony, there would be like a hologram or something maybe. But there is where she does her religious practices. And then there is I think actually like there is this small like it's almost like a suitcase, but it's like made out of wood, and it's a little smaller with a lot of like symbols on it. which is her like tool, pretty much like her like tool bag, I guess.
Okay, excellent. And so as you're there with this break, probably doing some of your prayers, some of your meditations, your bag there, there's a flash and a sound, almost like whispering for a moment. And as you look over towards where your bag is, you see there's another bag sitting beside it.
I look like down at it, and I think I like try to kick it because I don't think it's not sure if it's real. So just to like check, not like hard, but just
You tap it, it's definitely there. Spiral. You've been flung through the hyperspace and you feel yourself land, and then you kind of feel this movement of the bag, the space you're in.
This is a very unpleasant way to travel.
Do you reach up and open the bag, or does someone have to open it for you?
I'm not sure. It was Frantic's bag. I don't really know how her TARDIS bag works.
I'm opening it up for you to decide. What do you think?
Yeah, I think I'd probably stretch up towards like a top of it and reached all like 8 or so feet of me slowly up out of the small bag.
All right. And so that, Anakali, is what you see as you tap this bag. It cracks open at the top, and up begins rising a spiral.
Yeah, I don't think like I think even Anakali like flinches a little bit at that, even how good she is at like holding her appearance. And then just like noticing who it is, I think she says, "You here? That was unexpected and unwanted. In my room, no less."
I knew this was a bad way to travel. Is you, loud woman, have you come to yell about me more?
Yeah, and I think Anakali usually has this like elaborate headdress on, but now she doesn't have that on because she's in her room expecting to be in a private place. And I think she looks down at you, and she says, "No, there's no reason to yell at you when only you're here."
And since you are alone together, Anakali,
Yeah.
are you attracted to Spiral or not?
No, I don't think so.
All right. If you aren't, but you tell them that them what they've got going for them, or let them down easy, they become fascinated with you. Do you wish to do that, or are you not going to hit that move?
Yeah, I think I want to do that. I think like after saying that, she says, I think she pauses a little bit and thinks, seems like she's thinking if she's going to say that or not for like a second, and then says, "It's almost like I'd like to use the chance to ask you some questions. You're terribly mysterious to me." But that would be heresy.
He's gonna like lean down partway at the waist and get more on eye level with you and sort of cock his head and say, "Your head is much smaller than before. It is interesting."
And I think she like looks up to you. So I think our faces are probably pretty close, and she doesn't like react much to that. And she says, "Yes, it's a delicate head." And she like smiles like subtly.
I think you've been fascinated there, Spiral.
It does seem like it.
You can end your I'm sorry. Yes, you can end your fascination with the lover at any time by doing something that they tell you to do, giving them something they want, or fighting to protect them. However, with the fascination ends, you can only end it if you get into trouble. Also, when you do it.
Yes. Only if you roll badly.
And I have a move centered around like completing tasks that other people give me. So I'm wondering, is there a favor that you'd move towards here?
Yeah, I think like I don't as a player really know what that would be yet. Well, actually, I think I just want to. I don't really know about how you interact with like, because you're now here in this place with the council meeting. Yeah, it would be fun to see if you could do something there. I'd like you to yeah, I think she says like something like, "Oh, it is funny that you arrive at this time. I was just thinking about how I could get the council to stop thinking about which person to follow into. I mean, which person is supposed to rule. I'd like them to stop thinking about that for a little bit. They're getting their heads all heated up."
Yes, that sounds entirely boring and uninteresting. I personally have no interest in it whatsoever. But I think I can make them also feel no interest in it. Would you say more words?
And I think we're going to have you, we'll have that kind of chance. Y'all are talking as the video screen here in your room kind of puts across, like an emergency broadcast, talking about, as you see up on the screen, the sound doesn't come on unless you turn it on, but you see standing in the terminal, having just arrived, is Moonicorn faced off against SpaceWorm, and you also see that there's some sort of kerfuffle going on, some sort of big thing occurring, which I'm going to switch over real quick to Cora and Corazon. We had ended with you, having your moment, and I believe Moonicorn, that Cora was saying, "No, I'm not doing this with you," as you kind of laid out your plan. As you had just finished, as we just reached that tension moment, there's an explosion here in the terminal. And you see, rushing into this terminal, kind of throwing back hoods and things like that, you see that there are a slew of what looks like, almost certainly you would recognize them, Corazon, Imperial troops, assassins. And this explosion, and you got your own security troops out there, Corazon, and of course there's the terminal, but y'all had this distance between you, and you can see several of them are rushing straight towards you and Cora, and they have weapons out, and they look to be preparing to shoot at Cora. So I'm going to start with you, Prince Director. What do you do?
Okay, when they raise their weapon, they go to fire, and as they fire, I push Cora out of the way, and I take the hit.
Ooh. All right. That sounds like you're doing something dangerous.
Yes. Actually, I think I have a specific move for this. Suffer harm. When you try... Oh, sorry, 1 second. When you suffer a serious harm and resist, roll plus power.
All right.
Do we have the roll for your party?
Yes. Yes, you put us one
yep.
up there.
So we're not using forcibly unabased raptor anymore then?
You can pull if you want to post it up there. That was the one we used last time, wasn't it?
No, that's fine. I'll get a new one up. Okay. I get a 12.
Ooh. Yeah, the damage is annoying, but ultimately inconsequential. So as these... so...
Okay, can I take over the narrative for a second?
Certainly.
Okay, so I get shot. I push Moonicorn away. The door closes in the spaceport, so we are isolated. And I get shot once, twice, 3 times, and my face is literally at the portal. So you've got the little glass door, you know, like the start of Solo when you've got them actually trapped either side. Remember, I say as I die, everything I have done for you. Run! Run!
Oh, that's magnificent. Oh, that's phenomenal. Oh, by the way, what was your second special move you picked up?
I took Vader.
Oh, that's great. Okay. Cora, you have the door is slammed shut. What you doing?
Oh, I'm totally running. Like I've been told to run. There's danger. People are coming after me. It's time to run.
All right. You begin running out. I'm guessing this is, just to clarify, Gerwin, the door that closes leaves Cora out in the streets to the city or back towards the ship?
Back towards the ship.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I guess if it's back towards the ship, I'm probably making for the ship then and trying to get out that way.
All right. You rush back to the ship, and the crew that was getting off, they've heard this explosion. They're like,
go, back. Like, we gotta leave.
They rush back on, and as soon as you're on, the doors close, they begin firing up the engines. And you lift off as one of them looks like, where should we go?
I think it's totally I don't care anywhere but here.
All right. Do you want them to go into hyperspace and leave the planet, or you want them to go somewhere else on planet?
I think it's more interesting if we're stuck on planet and we can't leave entirely. Like, we're just going somewhere else.
I think that's a cool idea too. So it lifts off and begins moving across the planet away from this terminal where we now see there is explosions and such like going on. Space Worm, you're not really that hurt. So what's happening there on the other side of the door is, I'm guessing you probably could peek in and see the ship take off.
No, these are real Imperial troops, and I think I've been taken captive.
Ooh. All right. They come up and they grab you. Prince Director, you're under arrest.
Not only that, I think that there is actually a fleet of ships just dropped out into orbit as well.
Ooh, Imperials?
Imperials, and they have started bombarding the planet.
Oh, my. Oh, I like that idea. And so that's a good reason that, up there, Moonicorn, as you're flying through here, we begin to see things hitting some of these, made like the defense installations. We're seeing the big ships up above, the capital ships, and this may be the entirety of the Imperial fleet because they don't have a huge fleet. So this is, and so your captain's going evasive maneuvers, and you're heading through. I think we'll hop. Yeah.
I was going to say, like, maybe we just the leading is to me to the captain or whoever the navigator. So like get me to like the radio tower or something, like the broadcast tower. Like, I have to do something.
Can I make a suggestion there?
Uh-huh.
I have a bank on the planet that has an awful lot of the new currency. Do you remember what the currency does?
Oh yeah, the currency is the crystal, which means that I can probably use it to like communicate a whole bunch of things.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So it's sort of the like I take the coin out of my pocket that you toss to me and I look at it and look at my face and like the coin itself starts to glow because it's sort of that like because it's made of the currency and it's around me, it glows and sort of like hums and recharges. And I look, I'm like, take me to Prince Director, like the bank. Like they're going to have this. I need to get a message out.
Aye. And the ship begins moving towards that central capital and where the bank is. We're gonna hop back over to the lover and to the other, to Anna and Spiral. As outside you can hear the sound of massive fire from orbit. And outside of your balcony, I think we're going to say we could see a ship rushing towards the central bank. Spiral, what are you doing?
I don't know. Weren't there people we were supposed to distract or something?
Anna Kali. There we go.
Yeah, I think actually, like at the bombardment, I think Anna Kali is just like, "Wow, that was quick," and it looks over at you as if you made this distraction already with your, I don't know.
I work in mysterious ways.
We should get a ship to get out of here. And she looks towards like the ship that just flew by. Maybe we just get a ship instead.
There are other ways. Where would you go?
And I think like you hear like the echo of like Moonicorn a second ago, like anywhere else but here.
I know where I want to go. So I think he would stand for a moment, just completely stock still, and then he sort of dives towards you, and instead of like tackling you like you might expect, he's not entirely physical all the time, and he sort of envelops you in a strange screaming hyperspace void. And I want to use my new move.
I was
Secret ways.
Oh, nice.
So when I pass through the other world in order to get somewhere, roll plus curious. And then I also have my completed task to see if I get to ask you a question along the way.
Mm-hmm. And I suppose you're also in your familiar element during the course of this.
Oh yeah, there might be lots of questions. Okay, we can have an interesting voyage. So curious is my good one. Yay. That's a 12.
Woo! Everybody rolling well tonight.
On a 10 plus, it deposits you anywhere in the galaxy you want to go faster than other methods of travel. Which would obviously be inside SpaceWorm's chambers, standing in front of that crystal heart on display thing.
Ooh. Oh, nice. Okay, so through hyperspace. So you can use, I suppose first would be Oceans Tell Their Secrets, since you're first going through your element.
Okay. What do you hope for the future? You don't believe in the visions and the sights that the hyperspace shows to people. What future do you believe in?
I think I believe in a future that is made by individuals, by people who are doing things to make a betterment, and not in lucid visions.
And so this hyperspace portal sort of opens up.
Well, before you do, just because it may be relevant, I have my complete a task as well.
That's what I was gonna. It opens so you completed the task. That's where I was. Yeah. And so as you step out, you've gotten out. You have completed the task and taken Anakali somewhere else.
So I get to ask them a question. So I think I'd ask you, I know your opinion on me and where I come from, but as we step out into Space Worm's, Curzon's office vault, wherever we were meeting before, I look around and I say, what do you think of this one? What do you think of Curzon?
All right, and so you roll with Curious.
I got a 4.
A 4.
On a 6 minus, the GM or the other player tells me something interesting, and then the GM introduces a complication.
So, Mikhail, something interesting out of that question, and then I'm going to give us a little complication.
Yeah, what do I expect out of... What do I think of Moonicorn?
Space Worm.
Space Worm. Oh yeah, Space Worm. What do I think of Space Worm?
And you're here inside of Space Worm's collection. And so you see these amazing things from all over the galaxy that Space Worm has collected. Each and every one more precious than the other.
Not literally the other, but...
Yeah, I think that Space Worm is a bad person. That's what I think. He might tell himself differently, and like looking around at the collection, I think it's you can't lie when you're. I mean, it tells its own story. In her eyes, you go around and collect things, trophies. You're not the person who does anything to do anything better.
And as you answer that, one of the things that's inside of this collection is this enormous one of the communication crystals. Just larger than any you've seen before. And it takes on a glow for a moment. As back on the planet, the ship has smashed it, has reached the bank just as one of these ships has fired and smashed through the shielding around the bank and cracked open a hole. So, and caught in the backlash, you were slide into the bank in your ship there, Cora. around you, you could sense all of these crystals reacting to your near presence. What do you say?
I think I like the idea that I don't really necessarily have a huge amount of control over how much like the spice, like these crystals react and what they do with me. Like it's not really my control. Maybe I could learn it sometime, but it's not. So like I think what I say has this sort of like weird echoing effect. Like as like maybe the crystals like resonate or repeat or like just a little bit of like what I'm saying, or like even if it's just like a fraction of a second later. So like you get these weird like little echoey chorus type things that happen. And I think the immediate question is sort of is everybody okay? But then it's sort of like looking around is like I hear that little faint echo of like I'm just trying to check in on everybody, and then like it's just like coming around and like echoing through the building.
Ooh, I like that. That's got a really kind of ambiguous sound to it. So from this vast crystal, Anakali and Spiral, you hear, "Is everyone okay? Is everyone okay? Is everyone okay?" Corzon, you, as you're being arrested and they're tromping you back, and you can see that they're moving you towards a transport. Their intent is to get you off planet to the fleet.
And I think they do. I think the council is actually on a ship up there, and I think they are taking me to the council.
Excellent. And you can hear Cora's voice echo off the crystals that they have, because they hanging on to as many for the military is what they've done. So you could hear Cora say this as the guards are taking no, and they have this look of, oh dear, that's not good, as they hustle you onto the transport and take off. But back in the collection chamber, Spiral, you hear the speaker speaking through this big stone. You thinking?
Yeah, I was looking through my moves, see if anything.
Could ask the other world.
I don't know what I would ask it for, though.
Okay. Well, I could give a second, and Anakali, you've just heard this. I'm sure you know Moonicorn's voice. Moonicorn is famous, despite trying to keep herself below the radar. Everyone knows of Moonicorn. So you hear that voice coming from that enormous crystal. What are you doing?
Yeah, I think I look over at Spiral and just like say, I blurt out, "You brought me here?" It's a long time since I heard that voice.
Yes, I forget why we're here, but that voice, I've been looking for that voice. Where are they? Do you know where they are?
Can I make a suggestion?
Sure.
I think like as soon as you say where are they, that's like me and like the captain and everybody else like going through the bank and like opening the door to like the chamber where they are. Does that work?
Sure.
Now we are not on the same planet anymore.
Oh, I misunderstood. I thought we were both on the same planet in the bank that was here.
No, they teleported all the way back to Corzon's home planet.
Got it.
Yeah, Orant.
Yeah,
that's my mistake. Yeah,
that's cool.
So like you can totally ignore that suggestion because it doesn't make sense because we're on different planets.
So in that case, again, we have this sound. You've just asked, where are they? I'm not sure an immediate way I could suggest that, but talk amongst yourselves a moment here.
I think oncologist says, I don't know, but I'm pretty sure they're not here. Because this is the only place I think they wouldn't really want to be.
They're never here. Why are they never here? They're always somewhere else.
I mean, you can say that about a lot of places for a lot of people, my friend. And she catches herself saying that, and it's like, It's a manner of speaking, the friend part, yeah.
Yes, I understand, my friend.
Yeah, I think she smiles a little bit, but why are you looking for them?
They called me. They are the reason I am here. They were the bridge between realities. They are the only familiar thing in an alien universe.
It's funny that you should say that about them.
And as the two of you are kind of talking, you can't help but have your gaze, as powerful as the voice is to you, you still can't help but look over at that dark stone. Your own heart always calls to you as you see it there behind its case. And you look over at it. As, we've been hearing kind of that, are you all right? These sort of whispers and noises from the big communication crystal. And then you hear Cora imploring, sending out. Let's hear it. Because you're there with all these crystals, Cora. What appeal are you making? What is that? What do you say?
Yeah, so I think this is me standing in the bank, and so first you just hear it from the crystal, but if this were the movie, you would see it from the crystal and hear the voice, and it would do that transition where it's focusing on the crystal, and then it goes to the audio precedes the visual jump to where it jumps to me standing in the bank. And then the audio gets cleaned up because it's no longer through the crystal, but it's through my voice type thing. And it's the stop. Please stop this bombardment of this planet. I am here. There's no need to cause this much suffering to everyone else.
That sounds like trying to convince someone.
I'm totally trying to convince someone. So I will do that. And I think I'm probably spending an integrity to make everyone hear me.
Okay. And I think you're also taking a stand, so you're probably going to get one back.
Oh, awesome. I rolled snake eyes. So yeah, that did not work.
Ooh. All right. So, I think that they become aware of where you are. They know you're in that bank. And so, Corazon, as you are just coming into the big capital ship, you see a whole wing of their interceptors, as well as a large transport capture ship heading down towards the bank. They're going to get Cora, or try to get Cora. And you did take a stand, though, so you can get integrity back. And just to ask, what did you pick up for your second move?
Yeah, so my second move is Speak from the Heart. You can communicate effectively with anyone and everyone in your presence, whether they are alien, animal, or human being.
Excellent. Cool, cool, cool. All right. So I'm going to switch to, we get the Imperial March, dum, 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 as Coruscant, the transport door opens, and you see kind of arrayed at the end with guards lining all the way across. You see the council at the other end as they walk you off the transport.
I throw up. I'm in chains, but I push off the guards, and I using my cane, I walk down and try to maintain some dignity, as if I'm totally unfazed by this.
Prince Coruscant, says the head of the council, you have been causing us no end of trouble, but your troublesome ways are now at an end.
You are right. I fear I will cause you no more trouble this day. Why do you stop when you have what you want within your reach?
He sort of gives a... We are already seeking the heretic Cora. We will be retrieving the store of crystals that you have placed here, and soon we will move on to Orient.
Are you a religious man?
I believe in power. That's a sort of religion, isn't it?
I believe in the prophet. I believe in my cousin. They will bring a new age to this world. They will cast down your corruption, and you may not have them. You endanger her. Sorry, you endanger them. But let me say a prophecy. Let me tell you a prophecy. What you have done here has sealed your fate.
What do you mean?
You will not kill her this day. Kill them. Sorry, I'm sorry. I keep on getting the pronouns wrong. You will not kill them this day. I will not allow it. And I think at that point, there's the staff that I'm leaning on glows. And I've just transmitted that part of the conversation to the head of the actual religion, who has an army. And I think using my command ability, they are on their way.
Ooh. All right. Let's see. Now, religion isn't under your control, but they definitely do want Moonicorn.
Yes.
So I think, yes, I think we'll let you roll that command off of that, and we'll see how effectively, how well they manage this.
Okay, that would be a 6.
Ooh. However, yeah.
But I think the voice, as I start speaking, actually cuts to the chamber of the religious folk. And my words aren't actually coming from myself. There's one of my henchmen there. And I think we can see them racked with pain. And I think I'm actually feasting on their life force to actually transmit this message. So my words are their dying words. And I'm going to use my Vader ability to actually...
Excellent. Oh, so that takes it to a 7 to 9.
Yes.
They try to enact your will, but there are complications you may have to deal with. All right. I like that. So, as you're saying this in front of the council, and you there's that scornful look on their face, like, oh, we have him in chains. He threatens us. Oh, ha, 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 that can't possibly work. As the klaxons begin, fleet incoming, fleet incoming. They look around, and we can see, we'll pull out, for the camera to pull out, as we see entering from hyperspace, the religious sects, the religious council's fleet, which I imagine is done up in a very Baroque gold. It looks a lot like Warhammer. The Warhammer ships, all the filigreed look to them as they appear, and a battle is going to ensue. But you're on the ships that are now being attacked there.
Yes.
So I think that's a sufficient consequence for us at the moment. Gonna pop back over to you, Moonicorn, as you've tried to order them to stop this bombardment, but it continued. You were still hearing it coming in, and now you can see coming down, there are ships approaching you. You can see out there these Imperial ships coming to you. When up above, up in the sky, you now can see this space battle ensuing. You can see like the shapes of these capital ships now and the flashes as this battle has suddenly started up there. What are you doing?
Yeah, so I think this is like, if everything is like coming down, it's probably like the like your typical like rebel scene where you have a bunch of people like trying to defend, as like, I'm trying to like get into the place where I can speak out more. And so it's sort of the like broadcasting the message to like everybody everywhere. And so it's sort of the like it's definitely like the monologue out to everybody else type thing, as like they're coming in, and like the montage as my voice like carries over through it, and the montage of like people just getting taken down as like the Imperials like come in. And so I think I'm gonna make a monologue. I don't know if it's gonna trigger they convince, because like I think it's a different target of who it is, but like I did roll a 6-, so like I don't want to just like do the same move that I did before, but we'll see. So like I think the monologue is sort of like, the Imperial throne no longer serves the people that we mean to govern. We have gathered too much power. My view, the throne's view, cannot be that of everyone. I have traveled to many planets, to many worlds, and I've seen a whole bunch, but I have not seen them all. Everyone is different. Everyone is valid, and everyone deserves to exist. It is not my right. It is not the right of anyone who control the lives of others they have never met. I wish to dissolve the Imperial Council and everything that it stands for, and to have all of the worlds stand up on their own, to be their own rulers, and to no longer divest your faith and your power into somebody you have never seen, never met. And so like I think it's not talking to the Imperials, it's more talking to like all of the other planets everywhere else. You're mute.
I was muted. Yeah, I was like, oops. I think I'm going to consider that speak from your heart.
Cool.
Rather than, because I think you're effectively communicating this to all these planets, to all of these people. And we see that here on this world, the aliens, they're fighting, but the Imperial fleet's probably has destroyed a bit of their defenses. But now there's the huge battle with religion and the Imperial throne fighting each other up above. And, this is reverberating across the galaxy. This is being spoken out inside of the collection chamber. Anakali and Spiral, you're hearing this, but I want to go back as, this is kind of the background sound that's happening there. What are y'all doing? Spiral, what are you doing?
So I think he's been like whipping his head back and forth between the sort of flashes and hints of Moonicorn on the big crystal and his heart in the case across the collection there. And he finally like stalks across the collection up to the plinth in the little like glass case where that crystal is. I think he reaches up towards it, and it's like he can't make himself reach for it. And he'll just turn. It's not pleadingly. He turns blankly and like an oil slick of a human towards you, and says, "I cannot. He has not. Can you help me? I need this, but I cannot take it."
Anakari? Ellie?
Yeah, I look like up at the crystal, and then looking like back down at you. You can't touch the crystal.
And this is a black one, not the one that's speaking. This is a different one as well.
Yeah, this is a black crystal across the room. I'll say it is mine, but it does not belong to me.
You can almost hear the cry of his heart come out. It goes in some weird alien language.
Yeah. I think I look at you and like try to understand if you're telling the truth or not.
Would you like to assess the situation?
Yes.
Okay.
Nice.
So you'll be rolling with peace.
Yes. My peace is -1. So let's see. I'm gonna make peace be pink. Let's see. Oh yeah, so that's still an 8.
Oh, that's excellent. So I will tell you something useful and interesting. As you look from that crystal back towards Spiral, you can sense that they are one. That crystal is a part of Spiral. But you can also sense from it that is the best part of Spiral. That is this Spiral that you've seen so emotionless, so distant. Maybe something to do with being broken apart has done this to them.
Yeah, and I think actually you see like a tear running down Anakali's face, and I think she's like says, yes, I will get this for you, Spiral. You're meant to have this. And she goes over and like tries to pick up the crystal.
You lift the glass from it, touch it, and you can... Actually, I'll ask you, Patrick. What does Anakali feel from the heart when she touches it?
I think it's less about what she feels and more about what she sees. I think she gets a vision from the other world, from hyperspace, from the lies that she doesn't believe in.
Ooh. All right. And what does that vision look like?
Not sure.
Oh, can I come in there?
Sure.
There is a green-skinned woman, an older woman with still the touch of youth about her. She looks very similar to Moonicorn. Sorry, to the space worm. And she turns to you and says, and I'll leave that up to you, Tyler. My character had an image of his mother that set this all off.
Oh, that's right. All right, and so I'll play with that. As she looks at you, Anakali, we are not so different. The spaces between are growing smaller. It's time for us all to come together. And as you see this vision and you're holding this thing, the alarms begin ringing because, you've broken into Space Worm's collection. And we start seeing Space Worm's troops come rushing in to find out what the hell's going on. And that's where I think we're going to take our break.
Oh no!
So let's do 5 minutes and we'll come back and wrap up this session.
Brilliant.
I'm sorry I'm off-centered, but if I move my camera a little, then I can actually be seen. If I move my camera back here, then I become in the dark. All right. We'll have folks get back here in a second, but I'm going to kind of here in our last little push, I'd like to angle some things a little bit. Want to say, Gerwin, I think you're in a good position to defeat the Imperial throne front.
Yeah, yes, and I would be if I wasn't at -1 power.
Ooh. Yeesh.
Yes.
So what I'd like to angle for here is giving you that opportunity, that moment to try and do that. I want to have the lover and the other have this sort of emotion with the heart, with the danger pressing in, sort of thing. And I want to give Mooney the opportunity to. We've got the Imperials coming to get you. We have the religion up above. All of them are wanting to grab a hold of you, Moonicorn. And we haven't ever even seen yet what the interstellar transport guilds have in store for y'all. That's our front I've yet to really pull into play much. But I want to give you that opportunity to face off, do something cool in this as well, Yoshi. And maybe see where it falls out from there. While we wait on Mikhail, I think I'm going to come to you, Gerwin, and go ahead and get us rolling a little bit.
Okay.
So with this battle now ensuing, I think we can sort of get the impression with the surprise element and a bit of the fleet's turn for planetary bombardment. This religious fleet's coming in, and the religious fleet's got the upper hand here.
Yes, exactly, definitely. And I think at this point, I look to my guard, who nods at me, and they raise their weapons and they start shooting the other troops.
Ooh.
And the big guard that was holding me pulls off her helmet, and it's Auntie Darling.
Oh, Auntie Darling, I like her. All right, so why don't we considering how your power is, I still think that this is. I honestly, I think this is something dangerous.
Yes, I definitely think this is.
So, roll with power.
Oh dear. Well, this isn't going to end well, is it?
It can't go below. Your power can't go below 0.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize that. Unfortunately, the only way I can get it up is to actually start a scene in a place where I'm in power.
That is correct.
So, let's try this. Yeah. That's a 5.
Ooh. All right. They begin firing at the other troops. And the council, kind of cowers back and away because, they're not used to fighting like this. But the troops, their guards, are firing back. And as these things are going through, there's... I think I'm going to go with this. All right. We see the guards that are protecting them begin concentrating fire towards you, Space Worm. And despite your 2 guards trying to stop that, you begin, you start taking hits.
Yes,
you're shot. And for narrative purposes, you're injured.
Brilliant.
There's, we don't have hit points or anything like that, but there is the sort of conditioning aspects that this game will do. So for this purpose, you are injured, and the council back there, they have... I like this because this is really kind of a complication on how you're going to handle things. By the time the smoke clears and it gets quiet, And Darling has rushed over to you and is checking, are you all right? Are you all right? And you kind of, after having been injured, you look around and you can see that all of the guards have been killed, but Darling has also shot down the whole council.
No. Is it done?
Yes, you need medical assistance now.
No. Take me to the council.
They're all dead.
Take me to their bodies. Now! This is more important than my life.
She leverages you up and moves you over to them. What do you do?
I bend down, and from each of them, I take a signet ring. And I move to the main console by the throne.
Mm-hmm.
And I plug each of the signet rings in turn. And finally, I lift my hand and remove my own. And I plug it in. My staff, where is it?
She motions, and the other guard with you, your other troop, and he's been shot too. He struggles over, hands it to you.
I lift it up. I draw through all the energy that's left in it. No, great Corazon. As you have decreed, the council is no more. The throne is shattered. Let all creatures come together within a republic. Let each voice be heard and each measured. Let all live in harmony. But to be free, we must live as free creatures. If we are to be free, no being of far-off origins, no dictator unseen can hold power over us. If we are to be free, we should be free of religion.
Ooh.
Join me, my people. I command the Imperial fleet. Join me, people of the Rim. And I call you people, for that is what you are. A free people, united together for one purpose. Freedom!
Ooh, I like it. And I think that as you're saying this, we get the sparks and the smoke as the religious fleet is hammering at the capital ship. So we're going to skip away from that. As down on the planet, Cora, the people have heard this. You've heard this. In fact, you've heard it multiplied over and over with the crystals here, which are all glowing because of your presence. Outside, you can hear the people roaring their approval as they begin chanting your name. What are you doing?
Huh. Like, there's got to be like that look of like me looking at the captain who like brought me here, and it's sort of the like shaking my head. I'm like, this isn't what I wanted. Like I don't say anything because like I know if I say anything, my voice will like echo out everywhere. So it's sort of the like shaking my head and like almost saying something, but like not actually saying anything. Yeah, what was he gonna say?
And his face has this sort of like the confusion, all of that, and then you see this steely sort of certainty as he kneels. My empress, or emperor.
That's so good. What do I do? I think it's the like the waving them up and like to get them to stand, and because I'm presuming I heard Curzon's like speech through the thing just like everybody else did.
Oh yeah.
And so I think it's again speaking out, but it has the repercussions that it goes through everywhere and everyone hears it as I'm like telling the captain, I'm like, no, don't kneel to me. Like I am not your leader. I am not in charge of anything anymore. There should be a republic in each planet. I don't think that anyone has the right to rule over others from so far away. The republic should be how it stands. But I disagree with Curzon on the form of religion. Like, let each people believe what they want to believe. And I think this is like sort of like, and then I realize like, because I'm talking to everybody, it's more the turning to the crystals and the captains, but I'm also like talking to this captain. I'm like, to you, captain, to all the captains that fly between the planets, that carry people and goods and messages across the galaxy. We need you to get people to see each other, to see and experience diversity in other worlds, because we cannot lose those. And that is what makes us strong in this new republic, is the diverse voices that we see and hear. We, everyone, the people need you, all of you, to help in what ways that you can to ensure that no one's voice is forgotten.
I think I'm going to have you do I think that's a try and convince. And you're speaking, going with your speaking from the heart as well. But I think I'm going to have you roll the convince. You were muted, my love.
Perfect. I get a 10.
Woohoo!
Yeah. On a 10 plus, they do what you want if you back them up and help them do it. So like I think that the following up, and maybe like we see the captain like stand or do something, like some signal that he's on board. It's like, I am of no planet anymore. I will travel the worlds and see everything. If you just call on me, I will come and I will help be your representative to help ensure that all of the worlds can still stay connected in this new republic.
Okay. And I'm going to, we're reaching the end of our arc. So I think I'm going to say that this convince that what you've done here and what you've stated, I think you've managed to overcome the interstellar transport front. As in, they're no longer going to be your enemies. You have convinced them you're in with them. As this captain's looking up, and we've got the Imperial transport and those ships that are coming to get you. And he says, he looks at you. Then, if not Emperor, Admiral. And he walks over to where their hyper engine is, and you see him press a series of buttons. Emergency evacuation initiated. Come, Admiral. We need to go.
Yeah, and I just nod and like continue and follow him out.
And as you head into this, we see the hyper as you disappear along with the captain. We're going to come back to inside of the collection chamber. We've heard the klaxons. We can hear guards moving around outside, preparing to come in, probably to stop the two of you. Keep in mind, Mikhail, you can pick up a second move at any point you want, somewhere in here. But let's have, before people come storming in shooting, let's have a moment or two with you. What are you doing, Anakali?
I think, like, as I come back from this vision, I stand just like watching the crystal, and I think like I take it down a little bit and then like look at you, and I reach towards you with the crystal. Take it before they come.
You would give it to me for nothing? I could pay you. I have the wealth of a universe I could offer you.
I think it will come a time when you understand what you must do for me to get even. Just keep it in mind. That's the only thing I ask.
I will do that. He reaches out like slowly and his sort of tentatively, and his hand, like, it doesn't stop, it gets closer. And he takes it and just like as his hands touch it, come grasp around it. Thank you. And he brings it up to his chest and like holds it against his skin, and it sinks down in it, inside of him, and sort of like pulses with glow a couple of times before it gets lost in the darkness. But he's leaning down again, his head closer to yours, and you see the surface of his head, his face ripple and start to shift, and there are features that form for the first time in it, and it's a little bit like looking in an oily black mirror. They're very much like based on Anarkali's features, but he's looking at you. He's still like totally expressionless and stuff. It's not made him into a wild dancing person, but it's like, it's that thing if he goes from this weird blank alien thing to like he has a face, he has some sort of relatability. He's staring at you, like blinking.
Yeah, and I think I like look at you for like a second, and I think like smiling, and then I say, remember that to bring progress with your action, and now I think you should probably leave before they get in. I'll take care of them.
You should come. You should meet the voice. You should be with me.
I think she like watches you for like a second, like wanting to say yes, probably, and she says, no, you're the one who must do this.
After?
Come find me.
I think he walks a couple steps towards the big, like, shining communication crystal. And he'll turn back towards Enerkali, sort of cock his head and stare for a moment, and then just his form like leaks out of its bounds, and for a moment this whole place is filled with like infinite void and blackness, and you feel his presence everywhere rather than like contained in one solid place. And I think I'm gonna use my Oceans Tell Their Secrets one more time. As you hear his voice like whispered in and around your ears saying, "Who or what do you desire?"
Do you roll for that, or do I just?
Oh no, sorry. It's I get to ask one question. You have to answer.
Yeah, I desire for you to. I think like for Anakali, she's not completely sure as to what she's talking about. I think it's sort of like a thing where she knows there's going to be a time and you need to make the right decision, and she knows that she can't be the person to do that. And I think like that's really what she desires. I think she desires for you to both to like do the thing that like do the important decision that will make a difference for more people, that for a lot of people, but also for you to be a person that, or like a person that does make, does conscious action to make it, to knowing that you're doing that as well, like that you're doing something for someone else. Like in like agreement with her like philosophy, I guess.
I think as the blackness rolls back and the light comes in, and you see Spiral sort of reformed there. He's turned away from you and towards the crystal with his hand up on the like big sheet of it, and he just I think turns and looks at you one more time before fuzzing away into light and crystal things.
Wolf. And the doors open, and we see as these troops begin rushing in towards you, Anakali. And I'm going to hold there because I want to go to you, Space Worm. Back to you, Corazon. You're injured. The ships are being battered. You're going to... I think with your call, you've rallied people, but due to kind of how it went, I'm not sure they're going to be able to get here in time to save this ship. What are you doing?
At which point, from the command console, we cannot stay here. Tell the fleet to flee. And I'm very clearly on my. I turn to Auntie Dap. Should we give her a first name?
Sure.
I can't call her Auntie Darling all the time.
How about Anita?
Anita. I turn to her. I take her hand. Anita, get to the life pods. You must survive, even if I do not.
I can take you with
That is an order. You have done everything I have asked you to do. Do not fail me this one last time. Something here must survive.
She's torn, but she tears herself away.
And I'll grab her hand before she goes, and pull her back, and literally pull myself up and plant a kiss on her lips.
Oh.
And the kiss is a bloody kiss, but and she runs to the escape pods, and I will overload the actual hyperspace drive on this ship.
Ooh.
I will aim for the center. I'm on the big dreadnought capital ship. I will trigger the thing for all hands to abandon ship. I'm going to fly the ship into the middle of the religious fleet and overload the actual hyperspace drives.
Oh, all right. So the ship begins moving, and we see the pods fling themselves off as you head towards the center of the religious, and they're firing, of course. The other ships in the fleet are starting to wank, 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 hop out into hyperspace. I want to go to you. Yeah.
Okay, sorry, no, but before we have the drive trigger, there's a scene I'd like to have, but get to the other people.
Yeah. I was thinking that seems like a big conclusive moment there. So I'm going to hop back over to you, Mooney, because you've gone through the hyperspace escape mode, which means you're going through hyperspace kind of bare. Don't have the ship around you. We know how you feel about hyperspace.
No good. I am sick and nauseous and like just not feeling it. So it's totally like collapsed down to a knee, like leaning on the captain, like next to me, type thing of like super nauseous. Like it's like just lowering myself to like, what are we on? Like there's still like a floor of some sort, right?
It's almost as though where he was working on that control panel, it's kind of like that little piece of control panel and the floor immediately around him is just with the hyperspace flying around it. It's like everything else is sort of dissolved, but you kind of have that as a reference point. But it's like it's fading out. You're guessing when you get wherever you're going, it will have faded out and that will rise up.
Yeah, so it's sort of the like kneeling down and like trying to like lay down to like be as stable as possible, like spreading myself out like on the little bit of floor. But like I have a feeling like you can see like as the thing dissolves, like my hand like goes through what used to be the floor, like it dips down past where it should have been, and I just like pull it back and I'm like bring it to my hand and like just try not to like throw up and be nauseous, and I'm like, please let this be over quick.
And the captain is over there going, the controls, they're following you. You're taking us somewhere. As she says this, through hyperspace, we see this black figure flashing towards you. As Spiral, you arrive there to see Moonicorn, this captain of this thing. Do you keep going past them, or do you stop there with them? If you stop with them, then you're going to travel with whatever this thing is.
So is this not my secret ways thing?
I'm not going to have you roll it. It made much more sense that you just got it off.
Then yeah, I guess I'll crash into them.
All right. What do you say? What do you do?
I'm not sure. What is this ship again?
It's not a ship as much as just like a floor and a piece of a control panel, and it's fading out as it's whipping through hyperspace, and there's Cora and this captain who's looking frantically like, oh crap, I can't steer.
I think like as soon as you crash, because like I have for me that you bring like a feeling of safety around me and comfort, like, and I don't really know why, but like I think as soon as you crash, like you see me like visibly like sigh, like audibly sigh, and like breathe a little bit easier as I like look up and see you, and then I say, oh, when did you get here?
And I'm going to say, I think because this is your native place, Spiral, you're almost positive that this thing is going back to where you just came from. It's going back to Orange. You don't know if it's going back to that room, but it's going back to the planet of the crystals that seems so intently connected to Moonicorn.
Um, uh, hmm, um, I guess I'll look at you and say, what are you running from?
Right. And I think I look at you and like it's sort of the, are you asking like the deeper question or are you asking the surface level question? And then at a moment like after like that pause, I just like, they were bombing the planet. I was just immediately trying to get somewhere safe. And now you're here.
But your words, your message, your beauty, why would you take it from them? Why would you leave them?
I don't want to take anything from anyone. I don't want that responsibility. I don't think anyone deserves that responsibility, that power to make decisions for so many people that they know nothing about.
So you would decide instead to let them die?
I don't want anyone to die, but there's got to be something different than me telling them what is best for them and them dying.
There is standing for them. There is protecting them. There is, and he like reaches a tentative hand towards your headband hat, and then like pulls it back. There is so much you could bring to them.
I want to do some of that. I want to meet the people individually. That's why, and I like glance and turn to the captain, and it's like, that's why I want the captains and the transports to bring people to each other and to see each other. There's this candy on some planet that I name that I think tastes horrible, but I'm glad that it exists. It's something that the locals absolutely love. And even though it's not something that I like, it's a bit too salty and spicy at the same time for me, but I'm really glad that it exists. And I should not be in a place to tell them that because I don't like it, that it shouldn't exist. But unfortunately, that's what people see. If the general population knew that that candy was not something I liked, what would happen to it? What would happen to the people who make that? What would happen to the kids who love that candy? That's not something I want.
Very well. You have told me what you are running from. Would you hear what you are running towards? There is a plinth in a gallery, a glass box empty and devoid, waiting for a new treasure, a new piece of a collection to show off and reflect the light of others. It was a comfortable box, I can say that. Would you lock yourself in it? What are you more afraid of? Indolence and imprisonment? Or influence and power? Would you preserve yourself, or would you preserve the galaxy?
I do not. It is a tough question. I don't want to lose myself. I don't want to preserve myself at the expense of the galaxy, but I also don't want to give up myself in favor of the galaxy. If I had to choose between saving the galaxy or saving myself, and like I think you see them just sort of like just sigh and take a moment, and I think they take the hat that like you pulled off their head, and they look at it, and it's like, these last years I've been saving myself instead of the galaxy, and that was selfish, maybe. And I think I toss it off like the little like area that we are on, and it just like goes off into the hyperspace. And I look at you and I'm like, if it has to be a choice between myself or the galaxy, I think I'm done hiding. I will do what I can for everyone else who hasn't or cannot do for themselves what I can.
And I think when you like pulled off the hat and your horn came out there and was sort of shimmering like it's Spiral's skin instead of that infinite blackness, like it starts sort of iridescing and like a rainbow oil slick sort of sheen to it. And he looks down at the controls and says, "Oh, you are going the wrong way then." He's reached down and put his, like, I think his hand sinks down into the heart of the controls and like turns it.
I think in a way here, you've completed a task, at least part of the task that the lover set for you. So if you'd like to do your roll your completed task.
Trying to think of a question for the lover.
Who would you like for you to think about that a moment, and I go back to the lover to set up what's going to happen?
Yeah.
Okay. So, Anakali, these doors have busted open, and you see these guards rushing in. They've got weapons, and they're like, "Stand where you are! Stand where you are!" And they are, rushing in to arrest you, if not beat you up or kill you.
Yeah, I think I just like, oh there, I'm looking for a Corazon. Corazon. I was coming here to meet. What are you doing? I just took a faster way. It led me here.
Let's roll try to convince there, I believe. You're trying to fool them.
And I'm going to aid you in this.
Oh, hang on. It's not, you don't have try and convince.
No, I am probably asking a favor.
Yes, I think that's what you're doing. And you're trying to assist?
Yes.
All right. And so
Because
I believe you just automatically give a +1, right?
That's right, yes.
So you're automatically getting a +1 to asking this favor. You're rolling with love.
With love. That's 8.
And you added Space Worms +1?
Yes.
All right. They're going to do so as long as it's not too dangerous. They also are pretty quick. How they feel about it after is up to them. They regret what they did. They won't be affected by this move again until you've made it up to them. Okay. You really shouldn't be here. Come with us. We will make sure that the Prince Director, he's not on planet at the moment.
Before you leave the throne room, you're in my collection at the moment, and I have a collection move. There's something that I had talked to my people about potentially offering you as a gift. What is it?
Yeah.
Offer me as a gift.
Something in here is, as part of his collection move, something in here is amazingly desirable. Something here is wonderful. Invariably, there's something you want from it. What is it you want?
Oh yeah, I think it's like this kind of. I'm sure it must be like an artifact of my order that you have collected. Some kind of like. I imagine it being some kind of like. A stone of reflection or something like that.
Okay.
I think you can ask it questions and it will and it will like give you honest answers about yourself. That's what I think it does.
Nice.
I don't know if you have used it.
And so, Gerwin, they know that they're supposed to give this gift?
Yes, they do. They know that I was preparing to give it. And so part of the reason I use the aid move is they think you're here to collect it.
And so is there, the Prince Director is off planet, but they wished, and one of the guards, probably the one with the biggest hat, goes over.
Oh, no. Hats are for religion.
So he got the most decorations.
Biggest epaulets.
That's it. Big, massive. I mean, they're like wings coming off of it. He walks over and he lifts up one of these bell jar type, things to bring out this stone. The Prince Director wished this gift to be given to you, Your Holiness.
I am not surprised he hasn't had use for it himself. Although I'm a little disappointed. But very well. I will take it to its right place.
And if you will follow us, and they'll begin moving you out of the room. And I mean, it's at least in their mind that they should probably set you up with somewhere nice. You're a favored guest of SWvM, and so you're led to a suite unless you say no and just leave. What would you like to do?
No, I accept their hospitality.
All right. And so
hire someday.
they take you to this wonderful suite. Probably, since we had at the beginning, you're rather austere, very plain place you were on, originally at the council. This is just over the top. It's just as luxuriant as it can be, sort of place. And you're ushered in. I'm going to pop back to ask then Spiral, because we're going to end. I want to hear your question, hear what the lover has to say, and we're going to end up yours to then pop over to SWvM and what goes on there. So, Spiral, do you have a question?
I do. It's sort of a selfish question rather than an informative question, but I'm still interested in it. But my question would be, if you had the chance to travel into the other world, into the hyperspace dimension, would you?
And now you roll.
I do. Let's see. Oh, there we are. curious. Wow, which is a 12.
Woo! All right, your question is answered. And so, Anakali, what is the answer to that?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think yes. If it was, if the opportunity arises in a time where there Anakali doesn't feel that there is an urgent need for her, she would.
And I think that's like, as that scene with Moonicorn was finishing up, we were almost there. We were getting in hyperspace, very very close, very tangential to Orient there where you were, and so you just sort of you feel a bit of Spiral's presence, his mind there, and I think you feel the question almost by way of like an invitation.
Yeah, and I think like the camera like smash cuts to Anakali in the room, where she just like looks. It's a balcony there as well, of course, because it's the normal room where she stays, and Their Highness Prince Director knows how I like it, and I think I like look up at the sky, like with like a like smiling like slightly. And then for a second, then before like going into the room again and towards the artifact.
Nice.
All right, and so as you come in and you're going to pick up Anakali, I think I think we get kind of
no. Sorry, I don't think so. Not necessarily. It was like a thing for the future.
Ah, okay, cool. So I'm gonna hop over to you, Space Worm. Yeah, I mean, we're spending some budget on this. We're getting the big blast on the ship, and we've seen the rest of the Imperial fleet escaping the religious fleet, which this is, it's a sizable, impressive looking fleet. It's not the entirety. The religious factor is way more military than the Imperial throne, actually. But it's more than capable of handling this. So they're smashed away, and you're getting right up into the center of them. What do you do?
I think the ship's been hammered the entire way there. It's venting, its shields aren't holding, the shields go down, shock comes in, boom, boom, boom. You get the sparks from the actual control boards, and I'm literally dying in the command console, and I'm aiming for the dreadnought, the cathedral ship, right at the center of the actual fleet.
Have you collapsed into like the throne? Are you directing the thing?
Yes, I'm actually sitting in the throne doing this. I key in the countdown to actually trigger the hyperspace, to overload the hyperspace drive, and I reach into my bloodied shirt, and I pull out a religious medallion and open it up. On one side, my mother was a priestess in one of the alien religions. On one side is transcribed words from the scripture. But as I turn it over, there's a picture of her in there. I've done all I can to fulfill your wishes. They must take the next step themselves. I close it. I will be with you soon, Mother. And I trigger the drive to activate in the middle of the fleet.
Ooh, well, I mean, yeah, go ahead.
And something strange happens. When the bag was opened, Spiral stepped out of it. But that bag is still on the planet below. And that gem is still on the planet below. The hyperspace drive triggers. A blast of energy throws out, and the crystal answers its call. And where before there was a star and a planet, now there is a shattered sun with a creature of inky blackness.
Oh, I like it. Oh, destruction has hatched.
And SWvM gets thrown into hyperspace.
If I may, a little moment, because I think this will set us up for next time. As the engines are exploding, and we get that sort of, you know, the twisting of space, and we see the cathedral ship twisted and exploding, and then from the planet we get this energy as they're in the throne room of the Imperial Dreadnought. We just see a young lady's hand kind of reach out of the hyper turmoil and say, "Professor," and close around your wrist. And there's a white as the two of you, as you disappear.
Brilliant.
As we bring a moment of the Thief of Space and Time. We're at 4:30. I think that seems like a big finisher. Unless, Mikhail, would you like to do some sort of epilogue out with your character? We won't have you next time.
No, I'm happy to leave it at that. And
You
feel
like
free
it, Pat?
Yeah, it was nice. And also feel free to, if you want to NPC, use me as an NPC. It was a lot of fun playing an episode into your crazy adventure. And
I think just enough for a little tag scene. I have two little things. One is we see Guard with the huge epaulets, you know, and he's feeling, oh, I've done the right thing. The Space Worm's guest is taken care of. And he's going back to close up the collection as he looks over and sees that the heart is missing. And looks back towards where Anakali is, and his face dropping like, oh shit, as he turns. So we'll leave that. And then I liked it last time, so I'll do it again. We get the static, and we see a pleasant-looking woman's face as she goes, oh, welcome to Interstellar News. Dateline 7/14/53,000. It seems as though the star system of Gauntlet has exploded. In fact, reports are coming in of a massive battle between the religious fleet and our own Imperial fleet. Reports are the Council has been killed, and now, and the screenshot shows that enormous black roiling mass creature. Last images coming from the through the hyperspace terminal show this. What does it mean? We'll be giving reports as they come in. And after this break, have you been combing your tentacles wrong? The answer may surprise you. And that's our session of Space Worm versus Moonicorn.
That was epic. That was really epic.
That was so neat.
If we don't mind, let's do just a quick stars and wishes. Just a real quick stars and wishes. And then we'll head off. So for stars, something you saw that you really liked from your fellow players, from kind of the game, something I did, any of those things, hand out a star. And wishes are something that you wish that maybe the system did a little different or easier, something I might have done in the session, or something you might be thinking about for the future for those of you that are coming for that last session we got. And that can give me maybe a little clue for what we do next time. But we'll keep it short and then we'll end it up. Garen, why don't we start with you, and we'll start with wishes, and then we'll go to stars. And if you hear growling, that's not my stomach, it's my doggy.
Wishes. A god has, God has stepped into the mortal plane. I want to kill God.
Excellent. Cool wish. Mikhail, any wishes?
I wish I could play more sessions. That's what I wish.
Well,
That's a lot of fun.
if you're free next Wednesday.
I'm in Italy with visiting my partner for.
All right, I was going to say that I would stretch to have you here if you were available, but
I was thinking about it for a second, and I thought about the repercussions.
You're a good man. You chose wisely there. But thank you. I wish you were here next time too. Patrick, any wishes?
Yeah, I suppose I want to explore what more personalized, more humanized Spiral means. And I really look forward to having some discussion / discovery about with Moonicorn, their past, what this all means.
Excellent. And do keep in mind, with Space Worm Moonicorn, it's entirely possible we'll end with questions still out there. We're getting a slice of life in this conflict. But I agree with you. I want to hear more of what's going on there too. Yoshi, any wishes?
Yeah, so I feel like this one was this episode was super epic and thing, and I kind of want to see a little bit of more of that. But so having Space Worm trying to kill a god, whether or not that succeeds, that I think that sounds cool. But I think for Moonicorn, I kind of want to see a little bit of contrast of the more personal things, not trying to run the empire or the republic, trying to maybe fight against that, or seeing of the reasoning of why they wanted to give up that power, what are the reasons why they want to do that. So I want smaller scenes that are more slice of life type things in contrast.
Okay, I like that too. That sounds awesome. I'm gonna my wishes. I do wish you could be back with us, Mikhail. You're amazing. I love playing with you every time. And I would like kind of my wish for coming up this next one. I would like to see kind of that moment where we know the distinction between Space Worm and Moonicorn. I want us to see that line of, and really see where these 2 points are, because, that's sort of the game is, because it's perfect. We were having a really neat Space Worm who's doing what they think is best. We have a Moonicorn that has kind of been hiding their light under a bushel. I want to see that when they both are kind of making those stands, what those differences are. So let's do stars. I'll come back to you, Gerwin.
And that's what I think. Oh, sorry, was that not working? No, I've loved this game. All 3 sessions have been absolutely brilliant. That's going back to wishes. I wish I could have actually had more time to interact with all of you. That is really, the characters are all so brilliant. Mikhail, there's so much potential influence that your character can actually have over the game, with, even though not being here for the next session. I mean, I think you've set things up well to actually have that influence on the story of the characters. And Patrick, it's going to be very interesting the next time we meet, the characters meet, because things are going to be very, very, very different. And I love how the characters progressed and the way the characters progressed. And Yoshi, cousin. I was waiting for that moment where Space Worm would stop running and actually where Moonicorn would stop running and turn around and take responsibility. And I think up until this point, that's where the two characters have been very different. Moonicorn's been running away from everything that they think, been unwilling to take an active part in it, whereas Space Worm's been all about imposing his will on the world around him. I'm so looking forward to see how that dynamic changes next session.
Awesome. Thank you. Mikhail, any stars?
Yes, I'm gonna give a star to Patrick for being. I don't know what your thoughts about your character was, but I really loved like doing this interplay this session. It was super cool. I didn't expect it at all, and it was I really enjoyed it.
Excellent. Thank you much. Patrick, any stars?
I definitely reciprocate that star for Mikhail because the lover is so perfectly set up as this like foil between Space Worm and Moonicorn. But it was really satisfying to have like this whole interaction between our characters instead. And I'm glad that you were willing to dive into that and like push weird things to happen with Spiral. Because this is not the sort of... This isn't going to end with him as the sort of tourist that he was at the start of this, in a really interesting way, and I think that's cool. Also, just a general star to the other three of you, because that whole epic warfare that was going on this other planet while we were just having a calm conversation inside a vault was amazing. And every time we came back to it, it just like it kept leveling up and topping itself again and again. And that was at various points from all three of you, and it was beautiful.
Thank you very much. And Yoshi, any stars?
Yeah, so the first one was just that. I really liked the juxtaposition of the two scenes that were going. I thought that was really fun and really entertaining. So like that to me was a huge star. I really like all of the characters that are here. I think that part of like that juxtaposition and just like the characters that we have really makes us feel like an epic space opera type thing, and I really like that. Like these are very interesting characters that are definitely super significant and important in the opera of what is going on, and I really like that feel. So I think that's awesome.
Thank you very much. My stars, of course, all of you deserve huge kudos. Mikhail, what you came in and did in this one session is phenomenal. I think you made such a nice change for Spiral. The things you brought up, the things you asked really, I think, brought some neat new definition to that character. And I loved how you played that character. Patrick, I thought that everything you did in this one, I've loved the way the character is made. I like the stoic sort of, it's not naivete, but completely not understanding of this world, and that's been really fun, really cool to see. And then that coming in to speak to Moonicorn, that whole conversation was just excellent. Loved it. Yoshi, your Moonicorn has been fantastic because again, it's been this, a lot of times you'll see a Moonicorn that's out there just, with a guitar, just rocking it out to everybody. You've had a much more considered, much more nuanced Moonicorn, and I think that has been wonderful. It's been fantastic, this whole arc, and I'm so looking forward to seeing where we get to in this last one. It's going to be so magnificent. And Gerwin, you have been making great choices for this Space Worm. I like the Space Worm that seems is doing things for a good, is doing what they think is good. But it's still very Space Worm. There's no concern about the collateral. It is so driven, and that is a wonderful Space Worm. And you also, it's neat to see the sweeter moments. And that's been a lot of fun. Those like, there for your mother, or there with darling, you know, those sort of moments really kind of highlight that in a different world, this person may not have been a horrible space worm, you know, but if they were going to be a space worm, the only way was in doing some horrible things. And I think that's really nice. Again, such nuanced play out of both Moonicorn and Space Worm. So much fun. And I'm kind of looking forward to seeing how Spiral encounters a big void god, since that's, you know, hometown boy sort of thing. So big stars for what was laid out there from everybody. And I want to give a star to Johnstone Metzger because, again, every time I play this game, it gives so much. Such a fun game. Such a fun game. So, thank you all for playing. Folks, we've got one more session. I have stuff up there as well. So, if this is the first one you've watched, watch more!
I certainly will.